from your left-hand side. But while this aircraft looks like an early transport passenger aircraft, indeed that's what it's fitted out for now, it does actually have a very clandestine history, this very aeroplane. It is in fact stated that this very aircraft was the UK's first aerial reconnaissance platform. It had fitted cameras which were revealed by moving a panel on the leading edge of the wing. An Australian aviator called Sidney Cotton was tasked with working alongside the French to develop ways of using an aircraft to obtain covert intelligence over what was then developing Nazi Germany in the late 1930s. And Sidney fitted these cameras so that he could activate them with a press of a switch underneath his seat, and in fact in 1939 he was flying this aircraft in Germany and did some tour flights with some of the Nazi high command. I think Kesselring might have been involved, and he actually had Kesselring in the right-hand seat of the aircraft, letting him fly it, and then Sidney Cotton would open the cameras and then start taking covert pictures using this aircraft. Beautiful topside. Cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just a beautiful aircraft, isn't it? And absolutely conforms to the looks right, probably is right rule. I mean, it's a thing of beauty.
And what Richard's team have done with the inside, the interior is just stunning, absolutely stunning. I was very lucky. I got to fly this time last year. Flew from Sywell to Duxford in this aircraft. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Is it? And is it a lovely plane to fly?
It was. I haven't got a huge amount of multi-engine experience, but it was delightful. Really, it did what I told it to do. I didn't get to do the landing. I don't think the pilot trusted me, which was probably quite worthy.
Well, it's another type you can chalk up on your logbook.
Absolutely, I did.
Look at that.
Upside down from the left.
So what's the thinking behind the twin rudder? Because it's obviously it's aimed on a lot of other aircraft, not least Lancaster.
Well, what you might notice is that the rudder would sit. I just talked about it with Melanie's Extra. Actually, the rudder sits in that propeller disc. So by having the rudder behind each engine, you actually get more authority from the rudder. So because of the slipstream, yeah, because of the slipstream, that would certainly help. But what effect that would have if you had an engine failure, I don't know. I've not asked the pilots who fly this aircraft.
But it's to increase manoeuvrability, is it?
Absolutely, yeah. Stability and manoeuvrability in terms of where the rudder sits.
And why would that make a difference on a big four-engine bomber like the Lancaster?
A good question. In fact, there's a good shot of that rudder sitting behind the engines there as he runs in on the B-axis. If you think about surface area, so if you have two rudders of a certain size or two tail fins of a certain size, you would have to have one massive tail fin. So if you split them, you can get the same amount of effect, but have it over smaller surface areas, therefore a smaller fin.
Got it. Look at that in the sky there. Isn't that just fabulous?
Delightful aeroplane. Now this is a 12A, an Electra Junior. It was the Lockheed Electra that sadly Amelia Earhart was attempting a round the world flight in when she sadly disappeared. So that was a slightly bigger version of this aircraft you're watching now. Incredibly.
incredibly exciting time it must have been in the 1930s when all these incredible planes were coming out. You think of B-17 in 1935, this emerging in 1936. You know, those prototypes all coming out in shiny, silvery, lack of paint, and just imagine seeing this for the first time. And you think, you know, just in a matter of a few short years, we've gone from a biplane era to a monoplane one. Think how futuristic and modern that must have seemed to a civilian on the ground looking up at that in 1936 when this first flew. It's easy to take these things for granted, isn't it? And to see them for what they are today. But the sense of the pioneering spirit that is going into aviation in the 1930s, I think, is just amazing. And then, of course, into the second half of the 1940s, really, you've got the emergence of the jet age as well. When you think of the design of something like the Vulcan, which is first sketches drawn up. I think the first sketch was in 1946, 7, something like that.
10 years between the first flight of the Lancaster and the first flight of the Vulcan.
Yeah, something
crazy.